Konnichiwa, Bobcat desu. Arc Mines Kara no Hoso. Hi everybody, Bobcat here in the Arc Mines, and I am doing, on this incredibly hot, humid, already sweaty day, I am doing a test lift on my 2003 Honda Shadow VT750 DC with my new Harbor Freight motorcycle jack. And I'm already extremely disappointed in this jack. But I spent $100 on it, took almost a month and a half to get here, so we're just gonna give it the old college try. I'll do a walk around of the jack itself just a little bit later. But first things first, does it jack? Does it lift? Does it lift? So, I've seen on mosquitoes. I've seen on some other videos of this or similar motorcycle jacks where they've had to put the wheels up on blocks to kind of hand in the frame to kind of lift the frame so it fits under here. This is exactly as my bike sits. Haven't had to do a thing to it. And you can see, just for reference, and this is the first time I'm doing it, there's a little weld right here on the frame that I'm lining up this one pad with. So it's a nice even spot between here and here. This is the view from the other side, and you can see it just fits without any help at all. It just slides right under. I've got the same weld right above the plate on the other side. So we'll set this up on a tripod and do some actual lifting. So before I start lifting, obviously read the freaking manual, learn how this thing is supposed to work. It said in the manual that I'm supposed to check and top off the hydraulic fluid in the jack piston, which is a huge disappointment. Your product should come filled with all fluids, ready to use, or filled with no fluids and be able to buy them separately, neither of which is the case here. Shame on you, Harbor Freight. But read the manual and all that. One thing I wanted to point out is see how the bike is leaned over naturally on the kickstand. Beautiful, relaxed posture. Using the paddock trackside stand, which I got over here, slipping under the rear swing arm, the bike will straighten itself up as the rear end gets lifted up. Same with this. So as you're lifting, if you can have a buddy, great. If not, just take your time and ease it up so that this doesn't come rocking this way or suddenly rocking that way. This isn't the most level ground, but it's what I have to work with, short of moving the bike in the street. I haven't been able to get the other parts that I want to do the rear brakes and dampers and all of that, so this video is just to see how well this thing can lift. It does have some tie-down points here, and on the front side, and I do have motorcycle ratchet straps to strap this thing to the jack and see how well it works. But here we go. Stand in the front where the mosquitoes and the bees are. Got this handle, and yeah, pumping away. You can see it start to tip over. See how well this holds it. So, before I go any further, for me, this frame is just barely on the stand. Well, the pads of the stand over there. And on this side, you probably can't see, I have maybe 1.5 inches. So I'm going to lower this back down gently and slide the jack this way. So you use this to pump it up, use this to lower it. Kickstand down. Moved it just about 1.5 inches this way. Try it again. Picking up. Tipping over. God, this doesn't feel secure at all. So the front wheel, just going to pause this for a second. Front wheel is off the ground by about 4 inches. Back wheel is clearly still on the ground. Now, this plate isn't under there at all. Having a hell of a time with this. So I'm gonna drop it down, shut the video, and get the practice on this till I get it right. Be right back. So this is just barely on the jack, and you saw that the thing tipped over that way as soon as I stepped away from it. But you can see the pad is right about here. It's not even sitting at all on that side. On this side, got a little bit of room, but man, it wants to tip way back that way. Not a fan of this at all. As far as demonstrating how these locks work, you see these little notches right there. I'm gonna hit the lowering jack, and you see how it just settled right onto it. But here's the bike. I'm shaking it. It's got a lot of flex. Front wheel's nice and clear off the ground. Back wheel, I put it in neutral. It spins. See if we can't raise it up to the next working lock height. So yeah, this is nice and clearly off the ground now. I can probably do easier brake and wheel changes, but I'm not going to say that this is the sturdiest thing, but it's holding. So thanks for oh yeah, here's those tie down loops right here, and I guess this is a way to keep it locked in from moving. Who knows? But let's go get this phone out of the heat and go back inside and do an actual look around on the jack itself. Here's a quick look around on the motorcycle jack itself. It's a handle you move it with. A handle to actuate the pump, and the handle to let it all down. When lifted up, these bars hook into these little notches right here. Fresh out of the box, paint comes already chipped. Rubber on the handle was already chewed up. The box was chewed up. Took forever to get here. Was missing one of those lock nuts on the locking bar. Not the best quality construction, but let's talk a little bit more about it. Holy chrome, it's hot out. It doesn't help that I've got asthma, and I may have had the COVID back in March, waiting for blood tests to come back. But my asthma's gotten way worse, especially when it's this hot and this humid. So forgive me if I'm winded and sweatier than normal. Where were we? So I'm not going to say this jack is a piece of crap, but for 99, 100 bucks, this could be a lot better. This is my super smooth painted garage floor. I've swept here. And the wheels, the pivoting wheels, just don't. They just don't want to go. These locking bars, super loose. I mean, they do have this lock nut on a bolt that I could probably tighten down, but you might want a little bit of flexibility for it to line up into this welded groove. This handle here, I mean, I guess this is the first bottle jack, this being the bottle jack. I guess this is the first bottle jack based device that I've owned, but like, that's super wobbly and loose. I just imagine that's just going to get worse over time. But it lifts. I mean, it picked the bike up, mostly. For my Honda Shadow, like, you really had to line it up. And you can see sort of the scuff marks of where it sat several times. That's just going to take practice on my part. Whew. Is this jack worth the money? Hard to say. When it's up, you can't slide your oil pan under the bike to change the oil because the jack's in the way. It'll probably be useful for, thank you, dehumidifier. It'll probably be useful for changing the wheels, doing some work on the engine and the drivetrain. That'll be pretty nice. But honestly, frankly, for the money, that rear paddock stand works way better and feels way more solid and way more secure. So I'm probably going to use this jack a little bit here and there. There may come a point where I drive the bike into here somehow and hoist it up and start working on it, but probably just going to stick to that trackside rear paddock stand for $69 instead of this for, you know, $100 bucks. So thanks for tagging along with me, and stay cool out there. It's going to be a hot one.